Hey everyone, this is Anam Chahar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be discussing the summary of lesson number 3, Ranga's marriage, from your book Snapshots of Class 11. Let's begin. Ranga's marriage is a humorous story about a village boy Ranga who returns to his village after receiving education in English medium from Bangalore. The story is located in Hosahalli, a village in Karnataka, and it was written a long time ago. A long time ago, when this story was written, the village didn't have many people who knew English. Ranga, the accountant's son, was the first one who went to Bangalore for studies and who knew English. Although these days, there are many people in the villages who know English, but in those days, it was a big deal. It was a big deal to know English. When Ranga came back to his village after studying in Bangalore, his homecoming was a great event. Now, it's an important question. Why Ranga's homecoming was a great event? Well, people of that village were naives and simpletons. They were very simple and innocent people. And like I said, Ranga was the first one in his village who went to a big city for studying. So when he came back, when people got to know that he has come back, they rushed to his house to see him. They all were so excited to see the boy who had returned from the city. Ranga liked this attention. Seeing so many people, Ranga came out with a smile on his face and stood in the courtyard. Everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had been 6 months ago when he left village. Finding that there was no change in Ranga, the crowd disappeared. So previously they were thinking that if somebody goes to a village, he undergoes a lot of change and the person perhaps changes altogether, which is why they were excited to see Ranga. But when they saw that Ranga was quite the same, so they just went to their houses. When everyone had left, the narrator continued to stay there. The narrator of the story, he's a very jolly person, he's happy-go-lucky, and his name is Shama. So he continued to stay there. Ranga noticed him and came near him. He greeted him respectfully. The narrator wished that he might get married soon. Although Ranga was quite young, but in those days, like I said, the story was written a long time ago. In those days, people would get married really young. And according to the narrator, Ranga was an eligible bachelor and he would make a good husband. So, the narrator thought of arranging his match. So, he asked Ranga when he planned to get married. Now, this question is also very important, that what kind of a life partner did Ranga want and why. So, these are the reasons and the kind of life partner that he wanted. So when the narrator asked him about his plans to get married, Ranga told the narrator that he was not going to get married until and unless he found the right girl. In those days, people used to get married at a very young age. But since Ranga had now started living in a big city, so in a way he was influenced by the city culture, you can say. So his thoughts and his ideologies had changed because he was now getting English education. So he started talking like that only. He said he was not going to get married until and unless he found the right girl. And he opposed the traditional approach. He was not in favor of traditional marriages. He wished to take his time in finding the right girl. He felt that his future bride should be somebody mature enough. She shouldn't be somebody too young and too immature. So he wanted his future bride to be old enough to understand the meaning of this relationship, marriage. She should be compatible with him. She should be able to understand his thoughts and feelings. He didn't want to marry someone too young and immature, as was done in traditional marriages. And if he didn't get a suitable girl, he said that if I do not get a suitable girl, then I would like to remain a bachelor. So this is what he said about marriages. But like I said, according to the narrator, Ranga was the most eligible bachelor in the village. So he felt the desire to find a suitable match for educated and considerate Ranga. Shama, the narrator, devised a plan. He thought of Rama Rao's niece Ratna. Ratna was a pretty girl of 11. Who was Ratna? Ratna was a pretty girl of 11. The narrator saw in Ratna a perfect bride for Ranga. So when he was thinking about Ranga and he wanted to arrange his marriage, the first girl that came to the narrator's mind was Ratna. Who was Ratna? Ratna was Rama Rao's niece. She was 11 years old. She was pretty. She knew how to play the veena, the harmonium, and also sang beautifully. After her parents' death, she had been staying with her uncle's family in Hosahalli village. The next morning, the narrator asked Rama Rao's wife to send Ratna to his house to fetch buttermilk. So basically, his plan was to call both Rachna and Ranga to his house at the same time so that they could meet each other. So the narrator asked Rama Rao's wife, means Ratna's aunt, to send Ratna to his house to fetch buttermilk. Ratna came wearing a beautiful sari. The narrator asked her to sit and sing a song. Meanwhile, he sent for Ranga. Obviously, it was all a part of his plan. He just wanted Ranga to meet Ratna. Ranga came, but when he heard the song, he stopped at the threshold. He didn't want the singing to stop, but he was curious to see the singer. Carefully, he looked in. When Ratna saw him, she suddenly stopped. She felt shy and she suddenly stopped. Ranga felt disappointed at this. So he came in and sat on a chair. Ratna stood at a distance, her head lowered. Ranga repeatedly glanced at her. He said that his arrival had stopped the singing, so he would like to leave. But he didn't move. He didn't move from his chair. This shows that Ranga was attracted by Ratna, and although he was saying that, oh, I should leave and this and that, but he wanted to stay there. He wanted to stay with Ratna. He was attracted towards her. And when Ranga kept on looking at Ratna again and again, so, overcame by shyness, Ratna ran inside. When Ratna left, Ranga asked the narrator. Obviously, he was curious about the girl. He was very much interested in her. So he finally asked the narrator, who was the girl and if she was, married or not. The narrator replied that she was married a year ago. So narrator has understood that his plan is working. So he is just trying to tease Ranga because he wants to know whether Ranga likes Ratna actually or not. So he replied that she was married a year ago. Ranga felt disappointed. Then he left by saying that he had work at home. The narrator's plan worked. Ranga met Ratna and he liked her. In fact, it was like love at first sight. Next day, Ranga was very sad. Obviously, he was in love with Ratna, but when he came to know that she was already married, he was very sad and disappointed. So, noticing Ranga to be very sad, the narrator suggested him a visit to Shastri. Shastri was the village astrologer. The narrator and Shastri, they both were on the same side. So this was all, Shama's acting. He knew the reason behind Ranga's sadness, but still he was trying Ranga. So he said that, all right, you're very sad. Let's go to Shastri, and he will just see your stars and planetary positions, and he will tell you the reason of your sadness. And he had already trained Shastri to say the things which the narrator wanted him to say. So they both were on the same side. Shastri knew what he was supposed to say. So basically, they had decided the whole act. So, as per their plan, when the narrator took Ranga to Shastri and inquired about the reason of his utter sadness, Shastri acted for some time. So, obviously, if he would at once say, in 1 second, he would say that, okay, he's sad because of Ratna, then it will create doubts in Ranga's mind. So he did not say anything instantly. He just acted for some time, trying to read the stars and all, trying to figure out the reason, and finally he revealed that the stars are telling that a girl is responsible for Ranga's this state, a girl by the name of Ratna. Ranga accepted that yes, whatever Shastri was saying was true. He accepted the fact, although he wasn't very vocal about it, he didn't speak a lot, but his face, his gestures, his expressions said everything. In a way, he acknowledged the fact that he was in love with Ratna, but what could be done now? Ratna was already married. On their way back home, the narrator and Ranga passed by Ramarau's house. Ratna was standing alone at the door. The narrator went in alone and came out a little later. He told Ranga that the girl was unmarried. Ranga was now happy. So obviously the narrator always knew that Ratna was unmarried. He was just playing with Ranga. So he did a little more acting and he went inside the house, and then he came back and he said, oh, that was a misunderstanding. These people have just told me that she's very much unmarried. So Ranga was now happy, and as planned by the narrator, Ranga and Ratna tied the wedlock. They got married. Some years later, Ranga invited the narrator on the occasion of his son's 3rd birthday. Since the narrator was the one who had arranged his marriage, who had arranged this whole thing with Ratna, so in his honor, Ranga named his child after the narrator. The narrator's name was Shama, and so was the name of Ranga's son. Ranga's son Shama, he was also very fond of the narrator. When on his birthday party he saw the narrator, he rushed to him and put his arms round his legs. The narrator kissed him on his cheek and put a ring on his tiny little finger. Ratna was expecting her second child. She was pregnant and she was expecting her second child now. The narrator always remained the most honored guest in Ranga's house. Why? Because like I said, it was the narrator who was responsible for their marriage. It was he who had arranged this whole thing. So he always remained the most honored guest in his house. So although Ranga married someone opposed to his own ideology of a happy marriage, like I said, he wanted to marry a mature girl, not a very young girl, and who could understand his feelings and everything. But he married somebody against his own ideology, but still he lived a happy married life with his young bride. So that's all about the story. Obviously, see, this story was written a long time ago. So this kind of marriage doesn't fit in contemporary scenario. So you're not supposed to look at it you're not supposed to look at it with that perspective, because in today's scenario it cannot fit in, because obviously a girl who is just 11 years old. She's just a child, right? But in those days, things were different. So that's the case with it. Let's discuss a little about the theme of the chapter. Firstly, the story depicts the rural life of a typical Kannada village. We come to know that, how village life is like, and people, they're so innocent, and if somebody knows English, then he gets a lot of, footage, you can say. Secondly, it brings into focus the conflict between tradition and modernity and shows how tradition is deep rooted in our country. So, like I said, although Ranga was against a traditional marriage, but in such matters, in matters like marriage, one cannot do much, because at the end of the day, everyone tends to listen to their, hearts. So, we get to know that how tradition is deep rooted in our country. And then it also shows the how, the elder generation influences the younger generation. So, like I said, the narrator, he influenced Ranga a lot, and he arranged his marriage with Ratna. That's all about it. If you like the video, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, and you can also leave me comments. Thank you so much.